All right, a lot of topics to cover, short amount of time to get through it. But just in case you want to know what the topics are, here we go. Derek Chauvin. He's supposed to be having a mistrial coming up. What are the rumors that we've heard so far? Jake Paul. He just knocked somebody out in a minute. Apparently, a minute was all it took to get a rape charge. Well, not a rape charge, an alleged rape assault. We'll find out about that. LeBron James, hashtag accountability. He's under fire on that. Mun's going to tell you more. Kanye West, what does he want you to know about his divorce? Child support. I'm going to figure out some way to get that in there. If we don't get the child support in there, we don't get the child support in there.
We can throw that in with the Kanye West.
Okay. And Kim Porter's house. No one knew that was Kim Porter's house until they barricaded it. We'll find out more. This is the 504 Podcast. Mun, welcome. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
You know what I'm going to say at this point. You know what I'm going to say. I'm good. I can't complain. You know what? I'm going to change it up. I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking.
There you go.
So,
as awesome as can be.
Someone has commented, mistrial what? Let's start with Derek Chauvin. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. Is it Chauvin? Chavin?
I thought it was Chauvin.
Chauvin?
Chauvin? Derek
Chauvin?
Chauvin?
Okay.
No, I think it's Chauvin.
Okay, so mistrial rumors. What are they talking about? So one of the issues that they're having in the trial is the lawyers are going to fight that he was never given a fair shot. Because when you are given, when you're in court and you get the jury selection, so forth and so on, you're hoping that the jury can go into a situation objectively.
Yes. So
this was a case that was national news across the world. Mm-hmm. Where were you going to find objective jurors?
And they also released biographical information about each juror.
Not only that, before they even selected a jury, I think it's the city had settled with them for about $27 million to the family.
The family, yes.
Yeah. So at that point, when was he ever given a fair trial? Now, okay. Objectively, I watched what the defense gave for their argument. One of the things that was their big selling point when things were approached to the general public was his knee was on his neck. And the defense showed that his knee wasn't on his neck. It was on between his shoulder blades.
Yes.
But I think because of the story and the emotions behind it, I don't know what jury was going to say he's innocent. I did think there was going to be a part where it's going to be reasonable beyond doubt. I mean, beyond reasonable doubt that it was going to be like a hung jury, possibly maybe. But I can't see someone saying, no, he's innocent. Because it was a lot of emotion that went into this trial. So the lawyers are going to actually use this information to determine that his trial, he was not given a fair trial, and they're going to push for mistrial.
And that he was guilty on all three charges.
So how does that work if he's guilty on all three charges? Does he get to pick the one he wants, or does it stack?
It stacks. So say the first charge was second-degree manslaughter, I think, or something. It was the lesser of the charges. So each one comes with a certain number of years. Mm-hmm. So if the first one is 10 years, the second one could be 20, and the third one could be 40. So what does he have? 70 years.
Man.
But I watched the reading, the verdict, and I almost feel like, I don't know, Derek Chauvin, I think he knew. Like it was, I think he kind of knew what was coming down the pike because there was no reaction whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I looked at that also, but I took it as sort of like the same way you took it. I took it as he knew he was going to be voted guilty, but it wasn't like one of those things like if somebody's facing 70 years and they're like, we find you guilty on all three counts, it's like, oh, mama, please. Like I'm breaking down in the courtroom. You ever see like the video of the black guy who's like, he's getting the charges read and he faints? He goes, he start looking at the lawyer. So that would be me. I'd be in the courtroom fainting. They'd have to bring me out the wheelchair. But it was
Yeah.
sort of like they just kind of looked at each other and was like this, all right, cool, we know what we're going to do next. So it seems like they have a plan moving forward as far as how they're going to pursue the next part of this legal trial.
And they said that what sealed the deal was the 10-year-old's testimony, the little girl.
What did she say?
I don't remember. But
okay. Well, we'll have to find it at some point. But I didn't know that there was a 10-year-old there who
oh yeah. I
spoke.
think she was walking to the store, and I think it was her eyewitness account. Like, why are they kneeling on that man, and why can't he breathe?
Is that the girl who recorded?
The woman she was with recorded all of it. Yes.
Okay. Because
I guess you can hear the little girl saying, like, why is he kneeling on his head or neck or something like that.
Yeah. I do want to, I am curious, not that I do want to, but I am curious to know whether or not they actually got the woman who recorded it, her testimony, as far as her being like an eyewitness or not.
No, the 10-year-old girl was the eyewitness. They put her on the stand.
But who was the woman who actually recorded the video? Because I remember watching the video and like people were around like saying like, you're killing him, he's dying. I wonder if any of them were called to be witnesses.
I don't know. No. And the guy that was in the car with him was he pled the fifth.
What guy?
The passenger in George Floyd's car.
See, this is stuff I don't even know. That he was with someone at the time?
Oh yeah, he was in the car with someone else. There was a passenger in the car who did nothing. I guess they took him out or whatever. And when they called him to be a witness, he pled the fifth because they said, the media said that he was his drug dealer. So I guess he didn't want to attest to the fact that maybe he might have been on drugs.
So my next question is, and I am curious, what happens with the other 3 police officers? Are charges being brought up on them? Are charges dropped? Are they just going back to being police officers?
Where are they still working, or are they on leave, or you don't even hear about them?
No, I don't know anything about them. They keep telling me Nice Kicks is going live. I don't care about Nice Kicks. Give me some Nice Kicks. Give me some sneakers. All right, let's move on because we already spent 7 minutes on that. We might as well move into Kimberly Potter. Yeah. I keep saying Porter. Kimberly Potter, the police officer who and here's where the funny business starts to happening, because some people said she murdered him and some people said that she accidentally shot him.
Yes.
Now, I am someone where I can kind of look at each case as individual case and I can kind of be objective because I don't know if race went into this at all. Even with the George Floyd at this point, even though race is a big issue, I'm not sure if race is a motivator for it. Yes. I think it's a lot that went into it. I think that the whole video was, what was it, about like 26 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
It was a significantly long video because when they first showed it to me, I only saw the last, 7 minutes of it. So you have this video here where the woman shoots the teenager. I believe he was 18.
Yes.
So I just think I don't think it was racially motivated. I do think that she was just panicked.
Well, my problem with that is she was like a 26-year veteran.
See, but the thing is, you can be a 26-year veteran, but look at our profession. You can be a teacher for 26 years, and it doesn't mean that you're a great teacher. It just means that you've been there for 26 years. So you would like to think that someone within the 26 years gets better as they go along, but that's not always the case.
She seemed very nervous. And of course, I can't put myself in that position. I can't understand. I'm sure all cops these days are nervous with any situation. What happens? Her adrenaline starts pumping. Now, she pulled out her gun, mistakenly thought it was her taser. She yelled, "Taser, taser." And if you're going to tase somebody, you have to put it against their skin. You're not going to shoot somebody that close.
Well,
so that's where it's like.
Well, you do have the taser that you actually can shoot. and
But
it
she
shoots
got
like the
really close
barbs
then.
into them. So
Yeah.
when I watched the video, and the only reason why I was able to look at this objectively is because recently, over the summer during quarantine, I fired a gun for the first time. And for anyone who's ever fired a gun, it has some recoil on it. It's not one of the. It's not like the Hollywood gun when they're going pew pew pew. Like this is like it's a very powerful thing. So
Yes.
and the instructor was instructing me. You got to do this. You got to do this. This is where your hand placement goes. And they told me not too close to your face, two hands, and you hold it up. You got to stiffen your arms up so that you can shoot it. As I watched the video, she had one hand on it the entire time. And to me, it's like, yeah, she messed up. She absolutely should lose her job. There should be criminal charges brought upon.
Yes.
The police force should absolutely be held accountable. But I do not think this is one of those things that's racially motivated and people should riot and destroy things and try to make this seem like there's a fundamental thing that's happening in the United States where all of the police officers are bad. Because I know there are other situations that the news the news is not showing. I know this.
Yeah.
Because we had the 13-year-old Latino kid, and I can't think of his name. I had it down in the story. The
Toby, I think.
Yeah, the 13-year-old Latino kid who was running and he was shot. I don't see anybody talking about that.
No. And he was shot.
13.
Well, he had a gun.
He had a gun on him?
He did. He dropped it.
Okay.
You could see it in the officer's body cam. And that's when he lifted up his arm. And that's when he got shot and the gun dropped.
Okay, so I mean, I absolutely could be wrong. I don't know, but no one's talking about it. So I'm glad you brought that up. So let's move to LeBron James talking about accountability, because that's the next story with the police officer who shoots the 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, so, and before we get to LeBron James, the media is spinning that one too. But you can't spin it because it's there. You could see it with your own eyes. She was getting ready to stab people. Okay,
so here's where I get a bit confused because I watched the video 3 times. I watched it the first time without sound because I try to be objective and watch it without sound. Then I watched it twice with sound. It's chaotic. The whole 20 seconds of that video is chaotic. The police officer, within 20 seconds, she's dead. The police officer's like, what's going on here? Some girl just falls randomly. You see the girl running to the girl in the pink. Now, after seeing stills and stuff, I saw the knife. You don't know whether she's going to stab the person. You don't know what's happening. It's like all of the details surrounding this story are confusing. Did she call the police?
That's what they're saying.
Because when I read this, they said that she was being bullied by adults. But I guess she was in a foster home and the adults were in the foster home with her?
She lived in I understood it to be that she lived in a community housing kind of with other girls her age or older.
So were the girls who were living there causing these issues? Because I felt like these are in my mind, hearing the story, I just imagine some 16-year-old honor student who's kind of walking home from school, and then adults are bullying her and bothering her, and she got a knife to protect herself. That's the way it portrayed in my mind.
The one girl that fell on the ground didn't look like an adult. She looked like another kid.
Did she get stabbed? Did anyone get stabbed?
No, she didn't have time to stab anyone.
So at what point did she get the knife?
She came out when he arrived there. She was already wielding that knife around, trying to get the girl on the ground. But because that girl fell on the ground, she went after the girl in the pink and pinned her against the car. So, and you could see her hand going up with the knife, and that's when he shot. And that's when the knife fell. And a lot of the bystanders were saying that he didn't say drop the knife, drop the knife. Again, I didn't hear him say drop the knife. I think I
heard him say get down. And then he fired the 4 shots. I'm gonna try and watch it a few more times, but even from the 3 times that I watched it, it was just chaotic. It was very chaotic. Like, this is the time where I wish there was like bystanders recording. But then again, I
They
heard that there
were.
were bystanders that were just there watching all of this play out. As a
There were
community,
bystanders.
I want us to normalize de-escalating situations and not recording everything. Like, I
Yeah.
appreciate when things are being recorded, but like this concept where people kind of just stand around and watch, I want it to stop. I've seen videos of like women fighting each other, and
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of men just standing there, just going, "Oh, that's crazy! No, no, no! Let them fight! Let them fight!" Or I'll see people like two girls who are girlfriends in the car fighting each other, and no one breaks it up. They're kind of just like, "Yo, yo, yo, record it, record it." When are we
Yeah.
going? When are we going to like hold ourselves accountable for our actions, so that way we don't have to have somebody else come in and use their better judgment when we have the ability to de-escalate something in advance?
Well, I think at that point, the bystanders saw the cops. They're not going to de-escalate anything.
But no, but I don't know how long does it take police to get there? 10 minutes?
I don't. They gave a timestamp of everything. Yeah, I don't know. 10 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
'Cause I
The
mean,
minute.
it's a shame. It's a tragedy. I don't think she had to die, but then again, I won't know until I get more information on the case. Like, he literally made a decision in 20 seconds.
But I think he shot 4 times.
Yeah, he shot 4 times. But then again, I'm watching in a situation where my adrenaline isn't pumping. I'm not making a life threatening decision. I know a knife is considered a deadly weapon. I can't make that decision. And, hats off to people who are in those professions who can make those decisions quickly and kind of determine, threats and stuff like that, people who are trained. But for me, just being like a school teacher, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
what do you do? But we also, and this is something I was listening to on the podcast, we also don't want a world where there are imminent threats and the police officers are afraid to use force because they're going to be, thrown to the fire.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody's coming at me with a knife, I don't want somebody to kind of like, hey, what's going on over here? Get him, right there, get him. Edward Scissorhands, get him. All right, let's move on. LeBron James, accountability. Tell me more, man. I know it's relating to this case that we just spoke about.
Yeah, so apparently he tweeted that, the whole Micaiah Bryant, was wrong or whatever, and his hashtag was you're next.
You're next, yes.
Accountability. So I guess apparently that's, a threat. So
But you're next seems like you're gonna be the next one brought up on charges. What was the threat?
I guess just you're next. I don't know. I mean, so I guess he had to take down his tweet, but by then everyone screenshot that stuff. So
Yeah, it's a world. Once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Sometimes I go back and delete stuff off my Facebook just in case. Just in case. If I spelled something wrong on one of my old statuses, it's gone. Out of there.
So I guess, the people are calling for him to take it back or apologize and saying that, he's creating more hate by,
But I don't think he's creating more hate. The hate is already there. There's already a line drawn in the sand. And I think it's portrayed a lot of times by bad police officers. And the smoke is fanned by the media.
Oh, the media jumps on it.
Yeah, it's. I was telling this to someone else. What happened to Asian hate? Is that gone? Did it magically did Asian people just magically stop being harassed and assaulted in the streets?
No.
Is that gone?
It's not in the media now.
Well, it's not sexy because the Asians are, taken to the streets and they're talking in front of courthouses. I don't think they're getting the publicity because they're not rioting and, looting Foot Lockers and Walmarts. I think that's what sells. And I think the Asian people are, they're nice and they're saying, listen, we want this stuff to stop. We're doing the appropriate things. And they're not looting. So the media's like this. All right, what's the next story? And then moving on.
so the National Fraternal Order of Police, they retweeted his tweet, and they said, with his vast resources and influence, he should educate himself, and he has a responsibility to do so on the facts before weighing in on this. They said it's disgraceful and extremely reckless, and the officer did save a young girl's life. No amount of gaslighting will change that fact. So it's like, so what about this girl? So now this girl who was saved from being stabbed, so...
What does she say?
What does she say? Exactly. What does she say?
I think once the information comes out about this case, it'll determine whether or not how people feel about it. But right now, I think there's an emotional wave of people who are just angry and they're upset. Because... And this is why I go to the media again. It's all they're showing us. This is the only thing they're showing us.
Yep.
So people are going to be angry and upset, and they're going to think that this is what's normal when the data shows that it's not. It's not normal, according to data. But if that's all you see, that's your only perspective.
Exactly. And that's what the media does.
All right, I'm not going to get so much into Kim Porter's house. Just know that there's a barricade around her house and cops are watching it 24/7. And the neighbors had no idea she lived there. She's the police officer who shot the 20-year-old gentleman who he had a warrant for like a gun charge or something like that. Who knows? Did he have a warrant or not? Every time you read this, it's like he was an honor student. This person was an honor student, and then he had the air freshener in the window, or the tags were expired. Like, why can't we just get consistent details released? Yeah. And we don't have to speculate as far as why this kid was pulled over, what was the warrant for.
Yeah. But, you're not going to hear that part.
All right, man. Let's get into something funny. Kanye West. So the last time we spoke about Kanye West, he and Kim were getting a divorce. One of the funny things I remember hearing about was Kanye West actually would tell his security he doesn't want to talk to Kim. Oh my goodness, nice kicks, get out of here. He doesn't want to talk to Kim. If Kim has any concerns about the kids, they can tell his security, and security will get the message to him. So it seems like this is a little bitter. But the last thing Kanye has said was he's very upset because Kim's publicity team is making it seem as if she's the one who requested the divorce, but in reality, it was him.
Oh, he's trying to save face here.
I don't know if he's trying to save face or whether he's trying to let Kim know, nah, stop with all this, stop the cap. That's what the young kids say. You capping.
And then I heard that he's filing for joint custody or sole custody, or she wants sole custody and he wants joint. I don't know.
I mean, when you have that much money and nannies and different things like that, what is custody?
But I think when you file for joint custody, I think the child support, the amount becomes it becomes less or different. Because now
I don't know. No.
50-50.
Nope. No? Really? Not significantly, no. And this
No?
is from someone who actually kind of just researched just to see. Whether I took my kid on the weekends or whether I took my kid all week, it was relatively around the same price.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It all depends on the standard of living and the income of the other party. So their incomes are relatively about the same. So I can't see them going for child support for either thing. I mean, what would you need? What would you do with more money? How would their standard of living change?
Maybe it's not. Maybe they'll have something put into trust or something. That's where the money will go. I don't know.
Trust. Listen, they're gonna do what everybody else does. Just turn 18 and get an OnlyFans.
Oh.
I hope not, though. This OnlyFans stuff has to stop. Everybody thinks they can just get OnlyFans.
That's a way to make money.
Yes, it's short term though.
That's okay. You need to make quick money, short term.
I gotta do some research on this chick. Bad. I kept calling her Bad Baby. It's Bad Barbie.
Bad
I
Barbie.
kept saying it, Bad Barbie. I got to do some more research and see how she looks in 3 months. Whether she's still be making millions of dollars on OnlyFans and whether the money's going to dry up.
Yeah, it depends on how she's spending it.
Or whether the money keeps coming in or not. And half of that needs to go to the government. So if she gets the mill, $500,000 is gone immediately. And I'm assuming her manager's going to want to cut. So what's that, 20%?
Oh, what do you mean? Like go to the government when she files her
Yeah,
taxes?
when you file that on your taxes. You can't write everything off. Oh, no, this new bikini. Yes. I needed it for the OnlyFans. My 1099.
Who's sending her a 1099? OnlyFans?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
Her bank. She's going to get her bank statement. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder how that works.
Is it cash? Are they like writing her a check? Like, is it like direct deposit? Direct deposit hit Monday, $1 million? Ooh.
I don't know. That's interesting. We have to research that.
All right, so let's move on from Kanye West's divorce. What do we got left? We got 26 minutes right now. Let's see if we can pop it out to 30. All right, Jake Paul rumors. And now, I know we live in a society that says, believe all women. And absolutely, I think rape is a vicious crime. I think that people who are accused of rape and found guilty of rape should receive the highest amount of jail time as allowed by the law.
Yes.
But then we go into situations where some of the stuff is a little fuzzy and some things don't make sense. And the woman tells a story and now this man is demonized and he's not given a fair shot to defend himself because the mob of public opinion comes and takes over. So we have this girl, Justine Paradise, who is a TikToker.
Okay.
I cannot believe this is a job.
A TikToker, yeah.
I can't believe this is a job. This is a real job. All right. So she is a TikTok star. And on a YouTube video, she details her account with Jake Paul. And in her video, she says they were hanging out and everything was going great and they're holding hands and they're kissing. And then she's like, he's like, hey, why don't you come back to my room? And she's, didn't think anything was wrong with this. I will make sure to teach my daughter differently. Don't go to a man's room.
She figured they were going to continue their consensual kissing.
What is he, 16? You're going to dry hump her too? All right. I don't want to make fun of victims. I don't want to do that. But, all right. They're kissing. They're making out. They're holding hands. Hey, come back to my room. She decides to come back to the room. And she's like, she didn't think anything of it because she's gone back to many of guys' rooms.
Yes.
Okay.
Has she? I don't know.
That's what she said. She didn't think anything was wrong with it.
Oh, okay.
At some point, they go from the hotel room to the bedroom. She didn't think anything was wrong with it. I've been to plenty of guys' bedrooms. She's like, I thought we were just going to continue to kiss and make out and stuff. So they take it to the bed. They're kissing and making out. He wants to take it a little further. And she's like, no, let's just keep kissing. So he goes, what's the point then? And then this is when she says that he then gets up, he pulls his pants down, and comes back and forces himself into her mouth. Yeah. I'm not sure what the exchange was then, but she did release pictures later that night. It looked like she was crying, as one of the reports said, from Philip DeFranco. And Jake Paul has denied all of it. He goes, yo, she's crazy. I don't know what she's talking about.
Oh, wow.
So, but before he released a statement, there were already statements about, arrest him. This is terrible. This is disgusting. This is nasty. And yeah, this is true. It absolutely is. But I feel like rape, sexual assault, child abuse, pedophilia, those are the things that you can push on someone. And whether they're guilty or not, it stays with them.
Yep.
It stays with them.
Yeah, because how does he tell his side? Because at that point, no one's going to believe him.
Well, I don't think anyone cares. He just finished his fight. He knocked some dude out in like a minute and some change. And now he's on his way to fight Floyd Mayweather. So I wanted. Oh wait. Here's the best part. You ready? So Justine Paradise, she told this story. Why do you think she told this story?
To get more likes?
Okay, that would be a way to look at it.
No, I don't know.
Give me one more guess. Why do you think she told the story? What was her reasoning for telling the story?
To put herself out there, get her.
Oh, so like empower other women to speak up if something like this happens?
Are you being facetious?
Yes, I am. That would be a good reason, right?
That would be a good reason.
No, she just wanted an apology.
Oh, she wanted him to apologize.
She wanted him to apologize.
Oh wow.
No, not go to jail, not face charges, not to make sure that this never happens to any other woman and to be safe around him because he's a creep. I want him to apologize.
She wants him to publicly apologize.
Publicly apologize. Why would you ever do that?
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Like, she'd be advocating for other women, like, don't let this happen to you. But she said, all I want is an apology?
Yeah, she wanted an apology. Like, I'm all for, like, yo, if this happens to you and this is detrimental to your mental health and your safety and how you feel about yourself and you got to get therapy and you're like, you know what, he needs to be stopped, cool. But my thing is, the moment it comes to with men who are, like, higher status where I'm willing to settle in order to make this go away, it's like I look at your morals, because if this was a Johnny from down the street who did this to you, who doesn't have money, he's okay going to jail. But to this person here with money, you're okay taking the money and he can just ride out free. And I'm gonna give you a gag order and you can't talk about it with anyone.
That's what he did.
So Jake Paul gave her a gag order?
Well, what is that? He made her sign an NDA, non-disclosure, whatever?
I'm not familiar with that aspect.
Oh, I read that online.
He made her sign an NDA, so he settled with her?
I guess.
He gave her money?
I don't know. I don't know what the NDA was. If anyone out there knows what the NDA was, I'm assuming it's a non-disclosure agreement.
Well, I mean, yes, what it is, but I am curious. I didn't know anything about an NDA.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's his way of saying, all right, this happened, or is that his, saying that he's guilty?
But see, the thing is, this is the issue I have with this country and how we turn women and men against each other. So even with, let's use rappers and basketball players, anything like that. If a woman says, I'm pregnant with his baby, he can't dispute it. They literally go and take his DNA right away.
Yeah.
And then when it's not his baby, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh well. Like, there's no consequences to this?
It's a fine line.
What, are we just hoping? You knew this wasn't this man's baby and you put him through this?
That happens on Maury Povich all the time.
Yeah, but even if there was no sexual contact, they still have to do this. That's why I like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, those girls tried to lie on Justin Bieber. It was 3 of them. Justin Bieber molested us. He was like, I was here at this time. I have these witnesses. This never happened, and I'm suing them for defamation of character. And I think that has to happen more frequently because the law's not going to stop. Like, if someone accuses a man of sexual assault and then you find out that nothing happened, the law should then say, let's get you now for lying, because when this happens, there's too many women who don't report these things because they feel as if they're not going to be taken seriously. For them to not take these things seriously. Yeah,
but the law can't intervene unless she files a charge.
That's not. And that's my issue with the law.
So why didn't she file a rape charge?
Why didn't who file a rape charge?
What's her name? Paradise.
Oh, Justine Paradise.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Why didn't then if she was found guilty, guilty that she did lie, then he could turn around and charge her.
But I think that should be held on to the state. The state should be doing this. Like, man, if we were married and you call the police and you have 2 bloody eyes and a busted lip, and the police officer looks at my fist and he can see the blood and I'm the one that caused it, and you decide I don't want to press charges, the state presses charges. The state takes that over.
Yeah, you are brought out. Yeah.
So why can't the same thing happen? You've wasted resources, you've wasted attention, You've played on the victims of this, and now just nothing happens. It just goes away.
Well, I guess he can.
And my reputation's destroyed.
I guess he can file defamation of character because she publicly, if it's true, if it's not true, she publicly humiliated him.
Yeah.
So he can turn around. He just might be like, listen, I'm over it. It is what it is. I'm sticking to my story. She has hers, and I want to move on.
But the thing is this. A lot of men just kind of just wanted to be over with, and at the end of the day, she's going to go up 2 million viewers on TikTok because that's how people are going to know her now.
So I know this social media stuff is ridiculous. Like everyone, like even the influencers I follow, like they feel the need to have to I have a heavy heart today. All right, fine. Yeah, we're all looking at the world events, and I don't want to see you do that. I want to see you sell me some products.
Yes, I'm coming to you to look at something else. I'm coming to you to see what I normally want to come to see you for.
I don't need you to tell me how you feel. I have my own feelings. I don't go and verbalize them on social media. I feel what I feel, and that's it.
You know what's the worst? When I'm watching This Is Us, or I'm watching A Million Little Things, or I'm watching The Good Doctor, and all of these shows push the pandemic into them. All of them, I'm like, oh my gosh! If I wanted to watch that, I can just watch the news.
You could just watch.
I can just watch the news, and you're 6 months late.
I know exactly. You just leave your house and see the pandemic happening.
I wanted to talk about child support and how I think it's a very unfair construct that depletes the man's resources in order to take care of himself. But I'm not going to do that. We can discuss that on another time.
Yeah, another episode.
But I do think the concept of child support is very unfair towards a man.
Okay, I'm going to research that. I'll come up with the other side of that for you. Maybe we'll find some women who are paying child support.
Because before we go off of it, I looked at if I ever were to pay child support, how much it would cost, and my wife and kids would be fine. I'll be living in a dog house in the backyard somewhere. I wouldn't be able to take care of myself.
Yeah, the government doesn't care about that.
No, the government doesn't take care about it. So the concept of child support, I guess we'll touch on in a little bit, I think is very unfair. I think two people should come across and say, hey, listen, this is what I need in order to, continue the standard of living based upon or relative to how much money the person actually makes. Because if I had to pay $1,500-$1,600 a month, that's not even one of my paychecks.
Is that how much you would have to pay?
According to what I researched, it'd be somewhere around there, yeah. That's not a paycheck. That's more than a paycheck.
Yeah.
So I literally would have to give a paycheck and I owe you. Where am I staying? And if I made more money, they're gonna want more money.
You're gonna live with your grandmother?
Yeah, I'm gonna live with my grandmother. Yeah, this is how I end up quitting both my jobs and picking up and be a grave digger or something like that.
No, they probably make good money.
Maybe.
Speaking of grave diggers, we're gonna go off topic 1 minute though. Did you hear about the guy who was digging a grave and the ground collapsed and all the dirt fell in on him and he suffocated and died while he was digging a grave? For the funeral that was gonna happen.
Oof, what a way to go out. That's one of my fears.
Seriously, right?
Suffocating underwater or underground. Oof. I can't even watch those movies. When they're going deep underground into the catacombs, I'm like this. I can't do it.
Oh man.
All right, man. Let's wrap it up at the 40-minute mark. 39 minutes and 18 seconds it is. Any last words, even though you're never ready for last words?
I never have any last words.
She never has any last words, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you watched it on Instagram, awesome. Tell us how you would like to receive it. Do you like the video versus the audio? What is more conducive to you actually listening to this? Make sure you share it if you can. Get the word out there. We're going to be doing giveaways. I said we were going to do giveaways. Eventually, we're going to do some giveaways, but we got to get some money first. So help us get this monies.
Oh gosh.
Oh, if you own a small business and you want us to promote your small business, get in contact with us. Let's see what we can do. Sponsor us. Ooh, somebody sent me a heart. I dabbed.
That'd be cool.
Sent a heart. Yeah, let's do some sponsorships. How can we help each other? You want to be a guest? You got something to talk about? Message me. Let's get the conversation going.
Yeah, we love having guests.
We love having guests. We absolutely do. All right, so until next time, I'm Mark.
I'm Erica.
You're who?
Erica.
And this is the 504 Podcast. Take care and good night.
Good night.